everyone. Good. Wait, what was that? Who was? I don't need to see those faces anymore than I have to.
That was my fault.
I was like, ah! Did I
Sorry.
need to see that? Oh my gosh.
Sorry for the jump scare.
You guys? Huh?
Said sorry for the jump scare.
Oh, well, I'm glad to hear your voice, Andy. So welcome, everybody. We have lots of news to get to. So welcome to the Don Lemon Show. It is let's see if we can get the thing to do. It's our birthday. It's our anniversary. You guys excited? You guys excited? There we go.
Got it. You got it.
Finally, when we wanted to.
I know. I need a little more headroom, Andy, I think. So, hi, everyone. Welcome to the Don Lemon Show. It is our anniversary. 1 year. So congratulations. So that means everybody get into the memberships. Give some, gift, whatever you're going to do. Give some to some people. Don looks amazing in that color blue. Thank you very much. So look, we're going to get to the big news today. There's not a ton. But what I wanted to, we were talking to the team this morning, and I wanted to find a way so that you guys can be able to see us prepping. So sometimes the TikTok people get to see us prepping a little bit, but they're only seeing me and they're hearing the conversation. So you won't think it's weird if you don't hear the audio, right? And you can just see us on camera getting ready, right? Wouldn't that be kind of cool? Because then you won't think we're so late. You'll know that we're actually preparing the show for you. Okay, so wish us a happy anniversary. I want to tell you how grateful I am for your support over this last year. A lot of folks are, naysayers. You're never going to make it. You're not going to make it. Oh my gosh, you guys suck or whatever. I mean, remember, we started off with a little controversy that wasn't of our doing. So, yeah. So I really appreciate all of you guys, really, seriously. And I'm not going to get emotional. I hope I'm not going to get emotional. But I just think that you are just the cat's meow. Look at the community that we built over the last year. I mean, you guys are starting in the chat before we even go on. You're like, where are you, Don? I can't wait. I'm excited. Oh my gosh, here's the music. Hey, it's my birthday too, Don. Well, happy birthday, April May Simmons Liner. Happy birthday. Happy anniversary, says Kristen Thompson. Let me know where you are watching us stream from. I'm streaming from New York. I think are you guys, is everybody in New York team members? Yeah. 1 year anniversary, Nikki, Peter, Lemon Nation. So, I always have the tea or some coffee, but it is our 1 year anniversary. And so I think you celebrate everything. You celebrate every day. We have so much negative, bad news, especially coming from Washington, D.C. It is just kind of gross and whatever. So let me just tell you this. It is very important that you always hit that thumbs up, hit the likes, if you haven't subscribed, that you subscribe, that you pass our channel information along to other folks. I'm going to shout out a lot of people this morning because of the anniversary. And by the way, if you're catching this on YouTube later, we are live every day at 10 a.m. And so some people will watch and go, wait a minute, are they on live now? What are they doing? This is very different, whatever. So I'm alive. I'm kind of like a live streamer, even though we do have content. And some of the live streamers I know are like on live for 8 to 10 hours. I'm sure my team would love that. So happy birthday, March babies. It's my birthday and 1 year anniversary. My birthday was March 1st. And so, yeah, New York, Long Island in the house, Don. A lot of folks. Tell me where you are. I want to know where you are. So watching from Philadelphia. I used to live in Philly. And again, as I said, if you're on TikTok live, smash the screen. Make sure you just keep hitting those hearts so people become aware of us. If you're on YouTube, which is our main channel, if you want it full front, oh my gosh, my house is shaking. There's an apartment below me that's getting construction. It's boom, boom, boom. I don't know if you guys even saw the rattle. And then, so if you're watching us on Instagram or Facebook, we love to have your comments. We'd love you to also follow our content. But if you want our show full frontal, should we call it Don Lemon Full Frontal? Then you can come to the YouTube channel and you can subscribe. It's free. The membership link should be at the top of the chat. I don't know because I'm watching the live feed. I'm not watching the YouTube feed, but make sure it's there. And make sure the thumbs up poll is there as well. So our anniversary. We have a special anniversary treat for you. I guess you can call it a treat, right? Trying to fix this. We have a special anniversary treat for you because a lot of you didn't know how we started. Our very first interview was with Elon Musk. And Andy, you only cut the beginning, right? You didn't cut part of the interview, did you?
No, just the beginning.
Okay, so our very first interview was Elon Musk. And I'm not sure, Full Frontal Don, I'm not sure, I'm looking at the comments. I'm not sure if you guys remember that. And there was a bit of controversy surrounding it. We were supposed to have a content deal with them, a content and distribution deal. Then I interviewed him. He wasn't happy about it. He canceled our contract, canceled the deal. And so here we are. Happened very publicly. And that's how we started the Don Lemon Show. I didn't want to start off on controversy because, people aren't attracted to controversy. It may get a lot of eyes, but then, some people are like, ugh, God, everything is so controversial. I don't like it. But I seem to get a lot of attention, especially from the MAGA and the right-wing folks, which is why they wanted me on Twitter, is to sort of go there and balance out the far right and the right and give them at least a little balance. That did not happen, unfortunately. So that's how we started. So here we are a year ago. I'm going to roll this to show you who we are, and then the team is going to come on. So again, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Please become a member. And then I'm also going to gift some memberships today to some people. I'm going to gift a 1-month membership today. That's going to be our thing because we wanted to do a membership drive special, discounted, and they said no. And then I said, well, can we do a discounted? Can we do like a lower tier? But then there's no way to convert them over. But I realized like the $2.99 tier is actually pretty reasonable. So, and that's a lot cheaper than most. So please become a member. And if you are generous enough, and if you can, by all means, if you can't, don't worry about it. Give a membership to someone so that they can become a member and become aware. Because you guys know what's going on with media. You saw what Donald Trump said on Sunday at the Department of Justice, that he thinks that, these networks should be illegal. And, especially people who say negative things about them. That's what he's doing to the corporate media, but so far hasn't silenced independent media, the folks like us who are really giving you the straight story without insulting your intelligence and without putting on liars and whatever. We want to hear all sides, but we don't want conspiracy theorists and liars on, because I just think that, oh my gosh, what networks, Robert? You got to watch out. He talked about all of the news networks, but he specifically mentioned CNN and what he calls MSNBC. He calls them MSDNC. And he said it should be illegal. So, I'm sure he's affecting and scaring some of the folks there. So a year ago, and then I want all the team to pop up on the thing, and then we're going to get to the news. So this was us, okay? 1 year ago, we were going to go back into a time capsule. And this was us 1 year ago today. Watch.
Welcome to the Don Lemon Show, everyone. We're still here. In a minute, I'm going to bring you my conversation with Elon Musk, the one that everyone is talking about. But first, let me tell you a bit about the show. Contrary to what you might have heard, we weren't canceled by X. Yes, after months of begging me, wooing me to offer some exclusive content on his platform, Elon Musk decided to scrap the deal. But our plan is, and always has been, to release this show everywhere, on YouTube, on Spotify, on iHeart Radio, just about any place you stream content. Now for my conversation with Elon. As with all my interviews, no restrictions, no ground rules, nothing off limits or out of bounds. That is until the interview ended. So what went wrong? I don't know. But my hope is that you learned something about both Elon and me, two people who come from completely different vantage points on almost every single issue. And I challenge you, Elon, to watch the whole interview and tell the world why this isn't what you claim you want on X.
My gosh, I was so skinny there, all ears. Can you back it up a little bit, Andy? And we're going to talk about it. So let's see, back it up and then freeze it, or play it again and then freeze it. So oh my gosh, I was probably maybe 10 pounds lighter, because I was like running around trying to get the show started. And look at those graphics. Holy schmoly. Woo! All over the place. And the studio. we had the microphone on the desk and we had the phone, and everyone was like, we don't want you in the studio, Don. We want you at home. I know Madam Chair 385 says we can't see. If you want to see, go on YouTube. It's live on YouTube. Go to the Don Lemon Show. Oh my gosh. I do really like our studio. It is really cool, right? It looks like it looks like a loft in New York City, but I think it's a little cold because, and this is real behind me, right? This is not fake. That was fake. Don't tell anybody. Can you guys tell? Look at it. Do you tell Don? You look a lot like a grown up. Wait, back then, just a year. I look like a grown up then. Mama Gucci, you look 23 years old. Well, then that is like studio lighting, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's a little whatever. So there we go. And I also had a shorter haircut. I was a little tan, I'm sure. Okay, so bring on the team. Hi, everybody. Hello, Team Lemon.
Hi.
Hi. And look at Peter's under the hot topics. Hello, everybody. Wow, look at that. What do you guys think? Let's just talk about it. Hey, congratulations. Happy anniversary, guys.
Happy anniversary.
Woo.
What do you guys think? We had a much bigger team then. We had like,
We did.
like
Yeah.
10 more people.
Yeah.
And we're like, we don't need all of this. Do you guys miss the studio?
We missed all those people and we love them dearly.
Yes.
Yeah, we do miss them. Yes. But and one of them, you know, is very dear to you, Nikki. But by the way, is Nikki's other half. By the way, what do you guys, real quickly, do you miss the studio? Should we go back? Do you like it or no?
I miss it.
I miss it occasionally. I would like to do occasional things in the studio, but I know that like we have pulled you lemon heads and lemon legends and our lemon nation so many times, and every time it's overwhelming how much Don at home wins out.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
true.
where everyone wants to see Don.
To
Yeah.
date,
Yes,
if memory
let's
serves, their favorite place you've been, Don, is in your backyard.
Your backyard. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well that we'll do that this summer, and I think people also like the living room because there's a fireplace. But I do it in here because I'm out of the way, the dogs or whatever. Whose idea was the phone on the desk? That was one of the guys who designed the studio. Remember, they said you should get an old school phone, and then we talked about an old school microphone, and you can't really see it behind that giant graphic that covered the screen, but it was an old school microphone on the desk that Andy and I eventually found out worked.
It does work. Yeah.
And we put
No
it
way.
together. And then we used to, I don't think you have a shot of it, right? Don seems the most comfortable. Yeah. Don, I love you in the house. Yes. And so we love it too. The studio is great though, because it's like perfect lighting. But here's the thing. I think it looked too much like cable news because, and I don't think it was as warm. But anyway.
Well, physically, like, yes, it looked colder, but physically it was
Very
too
warm.
Oh, remember we used to sweat in there because we
I know.
couldn't turn the heat off, and then the air. Oh my God, it was I didn't even think about it. I should just forget. Don't even think about it yet. You guys are right. We're here. Some people say I like the studio, but anyways.
We have
we're
other
here.
options for studios when we have in people, like in-person guests. I can say words. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, but it was hot as hell in there, right?
It was.
Mhm.
Oh, it was hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember sneaking into the maintenance closet. If anyone from Everwonder is watching, I'm sorry. Like turning up the air.
And turning up the air conditioning because it was so hot. Yeah, but it looks good. Look, I think we started great. The production value is great. I think that people, steam pipes. Yes. And someone in the chat said steam pipes. And then there was a steam pipe that sounded like a clothes dryer. Do you remember that? Like
You can
when
hear
Yeah,
it.
go clank, 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 clank. Yeah.
You can hear it in this clip.
that boiler heating. So someone remembered it, that noise. And then we took another corner and we started doing Hot Topics there. I mean, it's been a crazy year. When did we start doing Hot Topics? Was it 6 months into it? Was it that? What was it?
Sounds
Like-
about right.
September, October, maybe.
And we started doing Hot Topics because we wanted to get away from politics, right? We wanted to do pop culture and
Yeah,
some
look,
fun
how did that
stuff.
work out?
And then what happened? Donald Trump won. And we're like, oh, everything is going to be about politics. And it is. Would you guys let us know in the chat, when are you going to do your pajamas and cooking breakfast? I will, but I was in my pajamas again. We like you. I'll do it again. But listen, let us know if you would like us to do some other topics besides politics and Trump and what's going on. And a lot of people say that, and then all of a sudden we're like, hey, wait a minute, our numbers are down. And then you go back to doing politics and they go back up. So let us know, right? So what say you guys, team? Peter, you first, because you look like you just woke up. I'll ask you. So what do you say to the Lemon Nation and the folks? What do you think about our last year?
I'm just really proud of all the work that we've done. Proud of the community that we've built. As you noted, Don, I love how folks show up before we start the show and are already chatting. I love on Thursdays when we have our members only live with the Lemon Heads and the Lemon Legends, being able to discuss with them and get feedback directly. It's a great thing we've built.
Yeah. And I feel that we built something. I have some, I'm going to have some announcements about other places that we're going to be going into for distribution and for content. And I'll let you guys know a little bit. Nikki, you and I have talked about it. It's been months since the beginning. They have been trying to get us to go over, and we're like, okay, we don't know, but I think it's going to work out. Okay, so then you'll get to see us in other places. So yes, and I agree. I love it. Goes right over Peter's.
I know. I'm sorry, Peter.
Wait, what happened?
Don, can you tell us who does what? Okay, so I will tell you guys, if you have questions for the staff, you can. What we're doing right now, just so you know, is more like our private streams that we do for our members, right? Where we talk, we have cocktails, we talk about our lives, we go into a little bit more detail, a little bit more intimate things. We're way more open about it. We talk about, being skinny fat and gay fat and and JD Vance being he's fat or straight fat or whatever, because anyway. So we have these private streams that we have for our members, and it is really, really, really great. But what I love is that unlike many of the folks who are way bigger than us, the community that we built is a more intimate community and more personal, and I feel really connected to it, way more than I obviously felt connected to my audience at CNN. And some of the folks, the audiences that I look at on other folks who I'm very proud of what they're doing, but I don't feel it's as intimate as this. And so this is like our private stream. So Peter is the head writer and producer, and Peter was a writer over on the MSNBC and Mehdi Hassan's writer, and we stole him. We wooed him to come over. And then there's Nikki, Nikki, you were with Vox, right? Vice. Sorry about that. Yeah. Nikki, what does Nikki do? Nikki keeps the lights on. She keeps us honest. She gives us a schedule every day. She goes, all right, everybody, focus. She handles a lot of the business. And so she's producer, director, producer, boss. She's the boss lady.
Yeah.
And definitely. By the way, she has food poisoning and she's still here. So hi, Nikki. What do you think about over the last year?
Oh, I mean, it's been a journey. And I don't know. I have to echo what Peter said. I'm just so proud of all of us and everyone on this team and what they've built, and also our lemon heads and our lemon community. It's so great to see the same people coming back and to build a community with these people that I don't know. I love this community that we've built.
It's like a family.
It is like a family. I feel like we've come a long way. I mean, we started, what were we doing? Like 2 to 3 shows a week.
Yeah.
And here we are doing 3 to 4 a day. Look at us.
It just felt like we didn't feel connected. I didn't feel connected to the audience. And so you guys were like, oh my God, how are we going to do this? When I came up with this idea, I said, guys, I don't feel connected to the audience. We need to build a community, and just doing 3 shows a week and interviews, it's like, And I said, you know what? I'm going to start doing a show every day in my living room at 5:00. Did you guys think I was nuts?
I remember that. I was like, I don't know how this is going to work. But again, because I came more from the broadcast world, I think we started out very broadcasty. It was like a news show. And then we kind of morphed into this more interactive news show, which I don't see elsewhere. So I love that.
Yeah.
I will never forget one of my favorite memories, Don. was when you wanted the breaking news graphic and we couldn't do that, and you wrote it on the whiteboard board, and it was breaking
Breaking
news.
news.
Oh yeah, hold on a second. Stand by.
Do you
Stand
still
by.
have it?
Stand
No
by.
way.
Stand by. Yeah, I do. Let's see. I gotta find it.
Does it still say Brecking?
Oh, please.
Hasn't
tell
been
me.
erased.
Incredible. Folks are being so generous today. So many
Yeah.
gifted memberships. It's crazy.
Wow.
Oh, thanks, everyone.
Yeah, it really helps.
I
Nikki?
have it ignored. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we
Yes.
can hear
Yep.
you.
Okay, good. I'm glad you can hear me. Because I have it stored, by the way. Remember, I don't know if you guys remember, sorry. See, this is what other people don't do while we should be doing the news. So here's the deal. So we had a choice, remember? When I said, I don't know if this is and I said, we had a choice between this one and then this is the one we use, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I put, instead of breaking news, I wrote breaking news. And all I did was, when I wanted a graphic, is when I wanted a graphic, I just did this when I started in my living room. And I know it says breaking, but then I was writing so fast. I was like, I need a graphic. So I think Tim ran to the Staples and grabbed two. And then we started doing it. And also remember, I started in front of the fireplace, and I started with that TV that spins, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, what kind of TV is that?
Mm-hmm.
I was one of those people. I had
Yeah.
never seen that before. I was truly shocked.
I had never seen it before too until I bought it. I don't think they make them anymore. Okay, and so that's how we started. And then, so I go to different places. Sometimes we go in the newsroom. Sometimes we do here. Sometimes I'm upstairs. I have a home studio upstairs, but it's so isolated and boring because it's a giant monitor. And then sometimes like we're in the backyard in Long Island. Okay, Andy Schmandy.
What's up?
Andy, where were you before?
I was at Sirius XM before this.
Oh, right. Were you working on that show?
Not like exclusively. I was working on a bunch of shows. I worked on the Karen Hunter show where I first got to know Reese Colbert and Clay Kane. So it's cool to see them here.
Oh, I was looking for. Oh, here it is. But you weren't working on that show that one. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Right. No, that the big political show at Sirius XM has its dedicated staff, but then they would bring some tech people to help out once in a while. So
yeah.
All
right. And so here we are. Andy, what do you think about over the last year?
I mean, it's been a lot. I was very fortunate to be able to help build the studio that we don't use, but it was really fun to build it. And there were some amazing people that were there, like experts. I barely knew how to build a studio. So a lot of people, lighting people from Jon Stewart's show, the Jim, the set guy you talked about. It's amazing. The mock-up he did, that really cool, fake perspective in the background. If people saw the studio in person, you'd be amazed on how they can make it look.
It looked
big.
enormous, but it was like basically it was like a big giant storage closet, right?
Yeah.
The magic of television or digital. Yeah, but it was I forget what they call it, but they used to call it. Oh, why can't I think of it? I'll think of it in when I was on linear television. Oh my gosh, I forgot what they used to call those panels. But anyways, it was amazing the way they did it. So
And
it has been
the DP Mark, very good.
Yeah. What do you think? It's been a learning curve. Has it been a learning curve for anyone? For anybody here?
I've never done a YouTube show before, so yeah.
Yeah, definitely for me, because I have the podcast space is just, I'm new to it. So it was interesting learning how to get more clicks.
And then when I was writing for Medi, I would have 3 or 4 days to put together, say, 2 monologues that we do on a Monday or a Sunday night. Whereas nowadays, I'm doing sometimes 3 monologues a day.
Yeah. And a lot of it's because it had to go through so many hands.
Yes.
And Yeah, and then you don't have to do that here. Look, we're very careful about it. By the way, it's called a Duratrans. When I worked at those panels are usually called a Duratrans. I'm not sure if that was a Duratrans, but basically that was a photograph that they built like these giant things. They took a photograph of a loft or whatever, and they just made it into a studio, and it looked like a real studio if you did it right with the lighting. By the way, I wish I could use that money from the studio, all that money that I spent. That shit was not cheap. But
That's why it looks so good.
I know, but hey, look, what is it? Front Office Sports has a very beautiful studio, and I'm happy that they can use it when they want, and we can go back and use it whenever we want. But I like the intimacy of doing this. So has it been a learning curve for you, Nikki, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's been different because I think I also came into that same mindset that I think you said you had, where I was like, oh, we need the studio. It has to look great. We need to have it perfectly edited, and everything has to go through all these different departments. And it's been very different to do this now.
Yeah.
Quick turnaround.
Yeah.
Basically, I just speak to the three of you for the entire day, all the time. I don't have any other departments.
And just like that, I was like, you guys going to come on right before the show? And they're like, wait, what? And so,
I just need a little notice so I don't look totally disheveled.
But look, we want you to know this is our little intimate family. There were some great people. I ended up with the best folks there. And so it just sort of happened this way. And I'm glad I got the best people. We just realized, like, you know what? We need to scale this to a way that so that we can be nimble and we can move quickly, and there's not too many, hands in the cooks in the kitchen. And so now we have a great team that gels together, and we kind of know what we want. And it's fast, and sometimes we change topics. If you see me looking down, sometimes I'm texting these guys and I'm going, do this, get this ready. And they're like, oh God. And sometimes we come on the air and I have no idea what we're going to talk about. I'm sure. Have you guys been amazed at how I can just talk to a brick wall? No.
It's very impressive.
Yeah. It is.
As someone that like this whole being on camera thing doesn't come naturally to, yes, very impressive.
Do you ever go like, what the hell? How did he come up with that?
Yeah.
Because I'm old and I've been doing this for a long time. Okay, guys. I love that you're here. Thank you so much. Let's get to work, and we're going to get. Oh, by the way, we only have 15 minutes, so it'll be quick. Let's just tell people at the top of the hour, we're going to do. It's going to be a day of Elon, right? It's going to our anniversary. So we're starting with our very first interview, and at the top of each hour, we're going to air a new topic: diversity, equity, and inclusion. What else do we talk about? Tesla and the stock. We talk about how he met Donald Trump and how he became this giant political figure. What else did we talk about?
Free speech,
content moderation.
The future X, I believe, is the first one. Yeah,
the woke mind virus.
The woke mind virus. The thing that we mentioned there, and by the way, this one is unedited except for one thing there was something happened with production or something that we weren't understanding what we were talking about, and that was the only thing that we did not include in this, right? Yep. It was and it wasn't relevant to anything.
Right. Yeah, that was more of a production thing that we cut out, but otherwise there are no
unedited
cuts. Yeah, this is so when we first aired this interview a year ago to the day, we, of course, whenever you have an interview, you usually make some cuts for time. You just remove some of the pauses, you make it look tighter. But so this is going to be the uncut version. So
yeah,
there's no extended Elon.
I think you're going to see it's going to be interesting because there's sometimes I think he pauses for 10 seconds or longer. And so we had to in the original thing, we really cut that down to 3 so that you get an idea and it didn't change what it meant. But sometimes he's just like, wait a minute. But that's one of his things. He does that. So we left that in. Also, we are both on camera together at the same time, so you can see the real reactions. It's not cutting back and forth. And so sometimes you'll see the director, whoever was directing it, or the camera people were changing cameras, and you're just going to see it. So in the, what do you call it when you're in the wild, right? So you'll get to see the interview. And what's interesting is a lot of the things that we talked about, most of it came to fruition. how he met Donald Trump. How much money? Are you going to give money to anybody? No. And then he ends up giving money to someone. Like, it's just amazing. We talked about the stocks. And we talked about advertisers at X and all of it. And it's like, now here we are, diversity, equity, inclusion. And now here we are coming around. Oh, and also the whole farmers thing and what he called a slow white genocide in South Africa, which wasn't in the original because it kind of came out of nowhere, but that's in this sort of uncut one. So you're going to see some things and hear some things that were not in the original. So make sure you watch at the top of every hour. It'll redirect you. I think you're going to find it interesting. I know you think it's tiring, but I think it's some people think it's tiring. It's a fascinating interview. Okay, guys, let's get to work real quick because we only have 15 minutes. So here we go. Good morning and welcome to the Don Lemon Show. We're so happy that you're here. It is our 1-year anniversary. We're going to talk about wars and wanton chaos. Those are the defining characteristics of the second Trump term. This morning, our president, I know you don't like to call him your president, but he is, encouraged Israel to break the ceasefire it had in place with Hamas. The Israeli government followed suit. Okay, guys, see you later. Get off the screen. See you later. Israeli forces launched large aerial attacks across the Gaza Strip in the first major strikes on the territory since Israel's ceasefire with Hamas began roughly 2 months ago. Gaza's health ministry said more than 400 people, including children, had been killed in the attacks, which raised the prospect of a war to an all-out war. Prospect of a war to an all-out war. It is unclear whether the strikes were a brief attempt to force Hamas to compromise in the talks or the beginning of a new phase in this conflict. Just before 2:30 a.m. local time, the Israeli military announced that it was conducting extensive strikes on Hamas targets. Hamas has yet to respond militarily to the attacks, leaving both Israelis and Palestinians waiting to see whether the Palestinian group chooses to escalate or head to the negotiating table. Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, said Israel had consulted with, there she is again, with the White House before launching the strikes. And over the weekend, the United States conducted a wave of strikes on the Houthi militant group in Yemen, which, like Hamas, is backed by Iran. Many worry that these military actions taken together raises the risk of a broader regional war. The reason I read all that and I wanted to say all that is because, do you remember when Donald Trump said, no more wars? We're getting out of these wars. And do you remember when Donald Trump said this during the campaign, that he was going to end the wars right away? And now he is, I'll tell you what happened after this. Here he is saying that.
The war in Ukraine in 24 hours.
Yes, I do.
How would you do that?
I know Zelensky very well.
I'll end that war between those two countries in 24 hours. It won't even take that long. I will get the war ended. I'll stop all of those lives from being wasted and lost. And there'll be no more bombing of Ukraine. There'll be no more bombing of Russia. And everybody will be happy.
It can be negotiated, I think, within 24 hours. It really has to be done from the office of the president. And you have to get them both in a room. And there are things you can say to each one of them, which I won't reveal now, which will guarantee that this war will end immediately.
And that to get it solved, I can do it in 24 hours. I know both players, and I can do that in 24 hours. But you can only do it from the office of the president. You need that. You need that seat. You need what's tailed in that seat. And I would have that done in 24 hours. It wouldn't even be tough. I know what to say to each of them, and there's no way they would reject it.
This, I will end that war.
Okay, that's enough. We get the point, right? We get the point. That was a lie. Just like I'm going to bring down the price of eggs. That was a lie. I'm going to bring down the price of this. The economy's going to boom under me. That was a lie. The stock market is going to boom under me. That was a lie. Let's show the stock market right now. The stock market is, let's see, the Dow is down how many points? The Dow down 260 points. And that's after days of being down. All of the gains made in the last 6 months, all of those the records under Joe Biden, gone. Are you having fun yet? That's why we said another day in hell is a thumbnail that we chose to put up on YouTube today, because it is another day in hell. We are losing money. We are in wars, at least involved in wars, because Donald Trump said no wars. But then Donald Trump gave Israel the go-ahead for shock new bombing that killed 400 people. He said, go ahead and do it. What happened to no more wars? Trump gave Israel the go-ahead for the shock new bombing. What happened? This is supposed to be the pro-peace ticket, right? This is the pro-peace ticket. What happened? It's all built on lies. Lies on top of lies. Lies on top of lies. I don't know. Look, people wonder, they say, well, what are we going to do, Don? What is the solution? I think the solution is, honestly, I don't know if people agree or disagree. I think that Americans have become too comfortable. I think that people are used to the great years that we had under Barack Obama, the great years that we had under Joe Biden. I can't say that about the COVID years and the loss of manufacturing jobs and the worst economy in history under Donald Trump. Now, they're going to tell you, oh my God, the economy was booming and whatever. And before COVID, that is not necessarily true. We were losing manufacturing jobs. And the great economy that he inherited from Barack Obama, he was tanking it. So don't give us that thing about it's great or whatever. He inherited, and just like he inherited an economy that was on the up, on the rise from Joe Biden this time. And look what is happening now. Look what's happening. Look at what's happening with the protests in Venezuela. Excuse me, not the protests, the deportations to Venezuela. Chaos. Defying of federal judges. Another day in fresh hell. I want to, before I tell you what we might be able to do, you guys know about the deportations, right? And then, deporting these people. Some of them are bad people. I will give them that. And I think they should be removed from the country, but you should do it legally. You should do it as a judge tells you you should do it. We should not be defying federal judges. We should be paying attention to tradition and the law, the judiciary and the legislative branches. We're not doing that. This is Jessica Tarlov over on the Fox News talking about the Venezuelan deportations. Another day in hell. Here it is.
Funny you should mention that. No, there is a good reason that everybody is saying alleged members and suspected members, because these people, as Dana said, have not gotten their due process. And there's an immigration attorney who has been posting about her client who was supposed to show up in court on Thursday, has been disappeared since then, is allegedly on this plane, and this person
what was he
is here.
Supposed to show up in court for?
What, he had a legitimate asylum claim. He had tattoos.
Legitimate asylum. It's not legitimate until a judge says it's legitimate.
But if you make it so that that person can't see a judge, then you're denying them their due process.
I don't know if I
What Trump is essentially saying is that the asylum system, as we know it, is done. That you can show up here and you're fleeing from persecution in Venezuela, for instance, and you don't get your day in court. So if that's what it is moving forward, then just say that. Be honest.
But you know the asylum system has been gamed.
Sure,
it is completely exploited by criminals.
Most don't even show up, and most don't get approval.
You can throw whatever you want at the wall.
Okay.
I'm still going to finish what I'm saying.
That's just facts.
No, but it isn't facts.
We should build a wall.
They're illegal. They don't belong here in the first place. If they weren't invited.
Then just be honest and say it's not about getting criminals out. It's about getting everyone out who is here illegally. That we can pick up anyone. And that's not Whoopi Goldberg or Joy Behar. Obviously, they're not getting
deported. You do the worst first. That's what we're doing.
But why is this person?
See, one person.
No, but this is the first flight. Why can't you just wait to let everyone get processed?
So you agree?
Yes, it's the first flight of deportations of this
I'm going to give you this, Jessica. I'm so glad you agree with what's being done. You just
okay,
have a
that's
problem
enough.
with how
that's enough. I don't know how can people watch this. Does this woman wear combat gear when she goes to Fox News? Yes, Sean Solo. It's so toxic and it's not serious. I don't think this is supposed to be a serious show. This is not. This is the 5, right? It's not their comedy show. They have a comedy show, I think, at 11 o'clock at night. But I mean, this is not borders on comedy. It is comedy. It is comedy. People want to know what to do. Now, look, there's this all thing about, they're saying that a couple things. We have the Israel thing. We've got the deportations. We have the pardons. They're saying that Joe Biden's pardons don't mean anything because they said he used an auto pen. That is ridiculous. That has nothing to do with it. But they're trying everything in court about everything and defying the federal judges. You want to know what I think that we should be doing? I think we should be doing similarly, because we've gotten, honestly, too comfortable. Similarly, have you guys seen what's happening in Serbia? Let's put up Serbia, please. Let's show some of those protests. This is what's happening in Serbia. This is what they're saying. It's 300,000 protesters. The protest in Belgrade tonight against the pro-Russian president there, the largest in Serbia's history. So they're protesting what's going on in their country. There was also a collapse of a subway thing that they're protesting. And then there is, this controversy about these sort of scatter bombs or whatever, what do you call it? The sonic weapon attack, right? But look at all of these folks who are out at these rallies here. And can you imagine? Yes. And put up some of the comments, please. That should be us. That should be us. Wow. Go Serbia. Look at all these people. I was like, is this like a light show? What is going on here? Americans have gotten too comfortable. I always say that you have to be willing to sacrifice something. You've got to be willing to sacrifice something, especially if you believe in democracy. If you don't like what's happening, I want to see that kind of protest here in the States. That would really get some folks' attention. And here's what I think it would do. Okay, don't we have one? Don't we have one with audio on it? Andy, I sent that. Do we have one with audio? I want you guys to see what's happening on the streets. I did send one that had some audio. Let me know when you have it. I think if that happened, you can go ahead and play it. Is that the one? That may be it. No, there's an ad. Okay, I believe that if you do that, then it will embolden the sort of resistance, right? I think this is the same thing that we showed, but I did send one in there that's got some audio in it. I think that will, there it is. There we go. There we go. And then if you can make it full screen, that would be great. So I think it will embolden some of the resistance. I think it will embolden the news media. I think it will embolden the judicial system. I think it will embolden our congressional people, our representatives in Washington, to feel like they have the support of the people behind them. So when people say, oh, protests don't matter, don't care, they don't care. And I believe that's why you have to do that. Someone says Serbia is the size of South Carolina. Imagine how many people that they got out there. And think about in America, if we were able to do this around the country, people will feel like, oh, yeah, something's happened. They're standing up. There is resistance. And I don't mean resistance just for the sake that there is a Republican in the White House. I mean resistance for the sake that there is this government, this tyrannical government in Washington now that is not abiding by the democracy. It doesn't believe in the democracy. Again, defying federal judges. It has non-elected people doing big jobs when they have no government experience. There is a brain drain going on in Washington, D.C. A brain drain going on for people who know how to help people in the country, in the world. Services are being cut. All kinds of things. Serbia, I believe, is an example of what we should be doing. And I think that we got to stop being so comfortable and like, oh, I don't want to, I got to keep this and I got to pay this and I got to do this. And yeah, audio is choppy, but I'm just showing you that. Look at these people out there. And they don't live in a country that has as much resources as we do. I always said when I worked in linear television, in corporate media, and people didn't like what was going on, I said, well, look, they can't fire all of us, so let's stick together. Inevitably, there were some people like, oh, I can't do that, I worry. But then there were those folks who stood up. So let me just say this, because at the top of the hour, in just a couple of seconds, our anniversary thing is, my audio is going in and out, it says. So just a couple of seconds, we're going to run the Elon Musk thing. We're going to start, okay, at the top of the hour with this, and you'll be redirected from here. And I just want to say, make sure you watch throughout the day. We'll be back live at 5 o'clock, okay? Support us, like, subscribe, and here's our first interview of how we began and enjoy it all day. I'll see you later. Turn the TV off. Thanks everyone for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support, and we will see you next time.